When you hear the sound of that bell, you know you in the championship rounds with King Amin of Essex, and I'm here with some special guests today. This is actually a part two of something that I started earlier. I had Coach Brian Mabry on here initially a couple weeks ago. That's my brother right there, and this right here is Nerdy Boxing Gym out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. And I got these guys here because, I got to upgrade myself. I started off as a casual. Now, I was ordained by Lord Pretty Calvo. That's Atif O'Burlton out of Philly. I'm a novice. Both as a creator and also as a participant. But I got you guys here. I want you to introduce yourselves, and we're going to jump right into the culture of the gym, your guys' background in the sport. So I want you to go ahead and introduce yourselves individually. Go ahead, gentlemen.
You want to go first? Go ahead, Jimmy. All right. Well, I'm Coach Junior. My background is basically strength and conditioning. So I have a background in rehabilitation, working with stroke survivors, working with cognitive responses, and bringing stability to the muscles. So basically, my job, my focus is not so much how you punch, but when your muscles react to the punch, is that muscle reacting at its fullest potential? So all of us here, we like Voltron. We all got a special duty, and we all know our roles, So while we all watching one boxer, we all looking at something different. So right now, I'm looking at footwork. I'm looking at when you are you getting tired? Are you winning out? When you got hit with a body shot, was it too much for you? So those are the things that I'm looking for, so I can better each fighter to be, the strongest they can be.
So let me ask you, does that also involve putting together the training routine as far as workout and how many reps and so on and so forth, strength and conditioning? Does that involve that element as well?
Absolutely. So I put together the workouts. Anytime there's an injury, I'm the one who goes in. I'm the person who checks out the injury, and also we get the muscles ready for each fight. There's something called vibration therapy. I'm certified in that, and that's a better form of warming up. It's getting the muscles ready to respond and hit at at its highest level. So sometimes they see me at the fight. I'll be on the side of the ring with a little gun, hitting them, and I might look like I'm doing something crazy, but what we're doing is promoting blood flow so that the muscles have a contraction, like combustion, like an engine.
Yeah, And just tell us one thing right quick before we let your partner speak. Tell us one thing that fighters do that they underestimate or that they discount. For example, some people have said a fighter like Deontay Wilder, they said Wilder don't do no road work. He don't do no running. But now you hear Malik Scott supposedly have him running. What's one thing that fighters try to say, yo, you can or you can't, but for a fact, because you're a scientist, that you cannot do without as a fighter?
Stability training. Getting the joints ready to twist and turn without injury. I mean, as a fighter, as an athlete, I don't care what sport you're in. If you're going to be doing fast twitch movements and your muscles are going to be moving, those joints need to be stable. So a lot of times people want to get strong, they want to get big, they want to see muscles, they want to see all of that, but they don't work on the inner core of the actual body, which is the joints, and strengthening the joints so that when you move, you don't get injured. Because injuries, you ain't no good if you're on the side, hurt. You could be the best fighter in the world, but if you can't fight because you keep getting injured.
Now, is strength and conditioning standard? Like, is that something that, like, even at the amateur level, you have strength and conditioning, or is this something that you guys implement because you feel like it's needed?
Well, it's standard at Nerdy Boxing, I can tell you that.
Okay.
And we don't have any kid expectations, whether you're 4 or 40. You're going to run the same amount of miles. You're gonna do the same workouts, and we're gonna attack you the same exact way. So across the board, it should be mandatory. It should be something that's across the board. But I can't speak for every gym. But here, strength and conditioning, without it, you just in there fighting,
And that ain't boxing.
and that ain't boxing.
Now, brother, tell us what boxing is. You probably handle a different aspect of the gym. So introduce yourself and tell us what area you handle, please.
I'm Coach Mack. My background is sports management. So I handle, not only am I a coach, I'm an official here in Virginia. So I studied the rules. We work through the rule book changes. And then I do all the administrative stuff. So when we're on the road, I'm making sure we got accommodations. So we try to keep the fighters as relaxed as possible. All the coaches, we try to stay relaxed. So I handle all of the business aspects of the gym, while also refereeing the sparring, looking at technique, looking at certain things. I'm studying the fighters that we're competing against. So that way we kind of have an advantage. We know what to look for. I'm looking for signs or things that the competition does on a regular basis to see if it's an advantage for us. And then we work through those things. Just try to make sure that the kids are, I have a saying, we box how we practice. We practice how we box, so when we box is like practice.
So let me ask you, and both you guys can shed light on this. We know gyms, boxing gyms, like even like a regular gym or anything, there's just different cultures, and sometimes people, they feel embraced or they don't feel embraced, or there's different politics, if you will. What's one of the things that you guys recognize you need to create as far as an environment that's comfortable for a novice, or for that 4-year-old or that 41-year-old or that person that's coming in to nerdy boxing gym? What's one of the things you guys cultivate to try to make your fighters comfortable?
The first thing that you will feel when you walk in the door is we're family. The one thing, it's not just about boxing. Nerdy boxing has its own meaning, but it's about being a nerd in the ring and being a nerd outside the ring. So when you come in, we're getting to know you, the person, what makes you tick, how you are in the classroom, and we're applying the lesson that we're giving to you in the ring. We're also making sure that you're straight at home. So the first thing that you're going to feel walking in our doors is that it's a family environment in here.
And with boxing, we know it's a big character element. We've seen people and kids, when they come into the gym, their concept of fighting, like you mentioned earlier, fighting is different from boxing. That kid, that guy coming in, think he coming in going to punch on somebody, he usually get edified very quickly. So when it comes to working with a fighter, and changing, going from a person coming in from the street and giving them that experience, what's one of the first things you do? I've heard some gyms say, we won't even let him spar. We don't even let him get nowhere near the ring. We might just have him go through the routine first to see if he got it in his mind that he's going to commit to the experience first. What are some of the things you guys look for in a person that you're willing to invite into that family?
Can I answer this one?
Go ahead.
All right, so we don't have the culture and environment that most major cities have, like Philly, New York, LA. So a lot of those kids take longer to develop because they have more to work with. For example, they'll have 40 gyms surrounding them. We're the only competitive boxing gym within an hour of us, right? So our kids fight and spar very fast because we don't have the ability. Like a kid in Philly, a year in training, he's sparred 100 times, and he's sparring top quality competition. We don't have that. So we learn on the job. So that's why we'll have kids like his son, was it 7 fights, and he won the nationals? 5 fights, he won the nationals. He was in there, beating kids with 60, 70 fights. We don't have the opportunity to take as long because we'll lose a kid. So we put them in there extremely fast when compared to other places. And when I started, I spent months throwing punches in the mirror. We don't have that ability down here. You know, because after that month of throwing punches in the mirror, then I was in the ring with the top kids in the city. You know, we were going to New York, we were going to New Jersey, we were coming down to Maryland to spar. Down here, we don't have the opportunity. Like, we're the only gym. My son only spars with my 60-pounder. My 132, for the most part, only spars with my 139. You know, and unless we get the call. And the other issue is we're pretty good to be where we're from, so we don't get the call.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So I kind of put the context of this show recognition, you know, and I want to talk about a couple fighters and situations, and I want to know, you know, does the situation or does the fighter get the proper recognition? So we're going to get right to it. We heard Calvin Ford, who his story, you know, we all get into boxing in just interesting ways. We heard his characters based on, you know, from The Wire and so on and so forth. And when I think about this statement, right? He said titles don't matter in boxing. Titles don't matter. And I'm thinking about you guys as a burgeoning gym and how hard you guys might have to work. What do you think about the concept of titles or accolades or recognition, or what gives a fighter or their gym or their stable recognition?
So in the amateur ranks, I will tell you that accolades absolutely matter. For us, we don't harp on it so much because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, we teach you life lessons as well. So you may do your best at something in life and you're not going to win. You have to take the lesson from that. But the gyms that you see being portrayed on USA Boxing, or the fighters that you see being portrayed for USA Boxing, it's because they're coming from gyms who have accolades. Their coaches have accolades. The problem that you're having is an amateur boxer looking at a professional fight, and you look at promoters like Floyd. They made it about the money. So if you offer me and say, "Hey, Coach Matt, you're boxing. I'll give you $20 million and one title, or I'll give you $1 million and 4 titles," I'm probably going to take the $20 million and 1 title. One, because there's a fee that I got to pay to hold that title, right? So if I got 4 of them, some of my million is going to paying for that title. So he's not wrong.
Like child support, 4 different payments.
So he's not wrong.
They gonna eat.
But looking from the amateur ranks, where accolades do matter, the rankings matter. You know, luckily for us, we just went to Lubbock, Texas, with 4 kids. All 4 of our kids are ranked top 10 in the nation. So it does matter. But as you grow up and get into the professional rank, the way it looks right now, it's all about the money. So he's not wrong, but on the professional level, but at the amateur level, accolades absolutely matter.
Well, let me chime in on that. Let me ask this.
Mm-hmm.
What sport or what do you ever do where accolades don't matter? that to me is somebody who came in second. Oh, it doesn't matter who won. Oh, because you didn't win. Listen, we don't say you have to win, but we are preaching to win, because winning is fun. Okay, ain't nothing fun about losing. And let me ask you this. How in the world can you sell tickets if you ain't got no accolades? How can you
Raise money.
How can you do anything with no accolades? Yeah. Nobody wants to come watch nobody. People come to see people with accolades. So you have to have it. And it's very important. And the sport is built on it. Life is built on it. And I don't know why he would say it. I don't agree with it. I just don't agree with it.
Yeah, I mean, and I've always compared it to this as well too, like a degree. Like when you go to college and you get a degree, you need a return on your investment. You don't go to college and get a degree in English to become an actor unless you're somehow writing screenplays and you leveraging that. But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't go to dental school to be a dancer, you know? So you need to want to reap the benefit from your efforts. And when you become a champion, because you have to pay those sanctioning fees, you want to be presented as a champion, celebrated as a champion, and paid like a champion. So,
Absolutely.
and when you sit to do your business, how do you get the leverage? You got to
Right.
come in there and put it on the table. Like, yo, I got these belts. Y'all got to give me money for this. You can't go in there and say, well, I'm an elegant fighter, like, nah, you got to go in there as the champ. So, it's an interesting quote, but I think, I guess in seeing, breaking away, and I don't want to get too lost in the weeds, but getting away from that Mayweather mentality, I call it, with that O thing. Like, nah, man, some of the greatest fighters in the world, they lost because they fought the best.
Right.
If we was outside and we was getting into it, and I look around and your clothes ain't wrinkled, you was standing there with the girls. You wasn't in the scuffle. Your clothes ain't dirty. If you don't got a loss, I don't know who you were fighting. So I'm of a different frame of mind. But with that mentality, are they underestimating? Let's stick to Calvin Ford and Tank Davis. Are they underestimating Hector Garcia in this fight coming up January 7th? Perhaps with that sort of mentality.
I don't think they're underestimating. Statistically, I think it's a tailor-made fight for Gervonta. Only because Garcia is very aggressive. However, his hand speed, in my opinion, and combinations are real slow. He doesn't really get his head off the line when he's attacking. So, and if you watch when he fought Colbert and Gutierrez, he kind of got away with it, but they don't have Tank's power. So you're not getting your head off the, I mean, that's something that we preach here. Getting your head off the line and moving. If you can't do that, you're setting yourself up to be knocked out. So I think by 5 or 6, Tank will probably touch him and let him know, you ain't supposed to be in this fight.
Yeah, and
That's if he don't get suspended with the legal issues.
Yeah.
I think he coming in the fight cocky, as he should. And I think he's gonna dominate the fight. His team thinks they're gonna dominate the fight. That's why they set it up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he going there. He might go in there underestimating it, but to me, I don't think he got no wins. Not with Texas. I don't think Garcia gonna beat him.
Ryan,
So,
that is.
Yeah, I just don't think so. So this is tune-up fight for him. Sometimes you get caught up on them tune-up fights. The biggest one is the Buster Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
You get in there with a fight and you think you're gonna beat a fighter just statistically because of what he does wrong or what he does you good at or whatever the case may be, and your team said you can beat him, and you go in there believing you can beat him, and you don't train like you're supposed to be able to, beat him. You go in there like you're just supposed to beat him instead of training like you're supposed to beat him. You know what I mean? When people get too confident and too cocky, it shows in the gym. You can tell. Sometimes losing is good for certain people. To humble them.
And something, I've been quoting this all week. Michael Jai White, he said, it's easy, to feel good when you kicking ass, but you don't really learn nothing about yourself until you get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was eloquent. You know what I'm saying?
And
let's talk about a guy who, his mentality, this was in an article in Boxing Scene. He said he don't care if he fighting his aunt. He don't care if he fighting a child. He trained like he fighting a champion. And this is one Boots Ennis who's also fighting on the undercard.
Yes,
now,
love him.
Tell me why.
Why? Well, I love Crawford, but to me, he got a style kind of like Crawford. They killers. I love when somebody got a killer instinct, and he just got it. You know how you can just watch a fighter and you say, okay, he's special. He got it.
Absolutely.
Boots got it, and I like him. And I love when somebody's cocky, but not arrogant. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he's confident with his, and we got a cockiness with him, and his power, his speed. He's smart. He can counter. He can move. He can create angles. I mean, and then just the power. I don't care if he can box and he can hit you hard. Come on. Because
Yeah.
a lot of times you get one or the other. You get a technical fighter or you get a brawler. And every now and then you get somebody who can do both. And Crawford was that for me. But this young boy Boots, I don't know. I'm excited about watching him fight, man.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big Boots fan. You know, definitely see him on the East Coast. I love to see him. Philly is such a fighting city.
Yeah.
You know, for many years. They got a couple guys coming up out of there. So, you know, I want to ask you, Rashidi Ellis mentioned that he wouldn't mind taking on Boots. And I thought that, you know, no disrespect to Rashidi, but I thought, you know, maybe he want to do something else. But what do you guys think of the prospect of that particular fight, Rashidi Ellis versus Boots Ennis?
I think it'll be a good fight. I think Ellis is a little bit slower than Boots. And then watching Boots' media day the other day, he was delivering some vicious body shots. I think he wear Ellis down. I think it'd be good for boxing only if he doesn't get a title shot, which this is my prediction. He'll win on the 7th, and then Spencer's going to vacate the belt. He's not going to fight him. Of course, Boots has already said wherever he goes that he got a belt, I want to fight. But I think he vacates the belt. He won't fight Boots. And then I guess you have to wait for Crawford. But yeah, I think it'll be a good fight. And I'm happy to see him fight on the undercard because everybody's ducking Boots. Nobody wants to give him an opportunity. So he'll prove why he's been working the way he's been working on the 7th. I think it'll be a good paycheck for Ellis, but I think he loses the fight.
Well, speaking of losing, and you know, we may have thought losing for some people might humble you. And I thought the loss to Maidana years and years ago would have humbled this man, but it seems that it has not. I'm talking about Adrian Broner. You know it. You know
I
it.
know.
And I just because I want to know as trainers, as guys that's in, you know, what does a fighter like Broner, what could he do to really give us the confidence that he's on the comeback trail? Because I got to be honest, I don't believe that it's
Shut up and fight. That's what he could do. Shut up and fight.
Well,
go and win. Shut up and win.
So the first thing you gotta do is get in shape. I don't know if y'all seen Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner like he about 150 pounds plus.
Easy.
You know what I'm saying? And so
You can fight Benavidez.
So what I'll tell you for us is a part of our routine is nutrition and weight management. So all of our fighters are always within weight, right? So we're not doing 15, 20 pound weight cuts before a bout because it kills you. We've sat through classes. We've done some of our own research and it tears your body down, cutting weight. You're fighting in February and you're still walking around like you got a whole big belly or twins or whatever, and you're gonna come down to 140 to fight in a month. I don't think he's taking it serious. I think he's doing it for the check. And even if he was to win this fight, I won't take one fight and call it a comeback.
Yeah.
He's one or not. To be honest with you, I love the sport. I love to watch the sport. And like I told you, I love people who make cocky, they got arrogant. To me, I don't like it. There's no room in the sport for ignorance. And if you ask me, it's a whole lot of that going on in his corner when it comes to trying to market himself and stuff like that. There's a way to market yourself without looking like a fool. And when you go and embarrass yourself, in my opinion, with the way you act, you're embarrassing the sport. And you're embarrassing everybody that's representing the sport. Because you got people that watching it just to get entertained by you for not even the sport. Kind of like how it is now with the Jake Paul, and you got people who don't never watch boxing in their life, don't know nothing about boxing, but they want to watch a football player and YouTuber fight. You know, they headline pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, that's where he needs to be with them.
Yeah.
Don't come over here with the real stuff. Let's go with the clown.
I just think he's diminishing his career. Because I think I could be wrong, but I think this guy is a top 15 fighter, and it'll be another. If he loses, it'll just take away another level to his career. It'll show he can't beat any top 15 competitors. So, do I think it's near the end? Possibly. I just think he's doing it for entertainment. I think he's doing it for the check.
And you know what's funny? Before we transition, I saw something on social media. I saw Oscar De La Hoya, and Oscar De La Hoya is a colorful fella, right? But boxing is rife with comeback stories because remember, you can get up. Craig, you can get up to fight another day. We all can get up. In regards to the nonsense he went through in the shenanigans, to see him sober and ripped at 48 years old, knowing what he could be doing, knowing the conditions he could be doing.
Right.
We can celebrate that. Anybody got a chance. I mean, a couple years ago, Dewey Buzzell, he served almost 20-something years in jail, came out and had his first pro fight on somebody's undercard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's so many stories where you could, Tyson Fury, you could fall down and you get back up, people will celebrate you. And that's why I think I'm always bringing up Adrian Broner, because I'm waiting to celebrate him. And he just ain't giving me the opportunity. So I'm going to hold these flowers in my hand and they're going to die.
Right.
They're going to die.
And you know, I liked him as a boxer, man. When he came out, he was young. I was like, yeah, the young boy, nice. I like him. But I don't know. To me, he never really became Adrian Broner. To me, it seemed like he was trying to be Floyd or trying to be somebody else, or just, I don't know, just his whole style, the way he tried to move in the ring and everything. Like, I like when people just be themselves. Be more you. You know, don't. You might have greatness. Somebody's teaching you. Yeah, we here. One thing we do here is we don't make a person a certain type of fighter. We watch you and see what type of fighter you are, and then we make you a better that. So,
well, let me stick right there because it's interesting, and I talked about it with Brian last time. I'm a big fan of women's boxing, and you're talking about watching a fighter, seeing where they're at. What do you guys think about women's boxing, where it's at right now, and potentially where it could go?
I think it's in a great place. 2022, I think we saw a lot of growth. One of the things that I highlight that you're not seeing in the women's game that you're seeing in the men's game or the men's side of the house is that the women are afraid to get the bouts that people want to see.
Yes.
They're not ducking and dodging. They're making it happen. On the men's side, you got promoters that are like, nah, we don't want to do that fight. Whether you're scared to lose or whatever the case may be, like you said earlier, some of the best fights, you may have lost because you're fighting a great opponent. So on the women's side, I think it's going to continue to grow because you have Clarissa Shields, Katie Taylor, you got them leading the pack to say we want to be the best and we're going to give people the fights that they want. So right now, I think it's in a great place.
I agree, 100%.
And to that point, Amanda Serrano, talking about getting the fights, Amanda Serrano is lining up. She jumped up 2 weight divisions from featherweight to fight Taylor in an amazing bout. I happened to be in the building for that one. God bless me. Now she getting ready to fight Erica Cruz for undisputed. Every time you look up, these women is in a fight for undisputed.
Yep.
And we can't even get these jokers to fight for a bullshit ass WBA regular, interim, super, intercontinental, international, whatever the hell.
Right.
That's because they forced to. And that's what they need to do. They need to get it back to like that. They're forced to do that because without the best fights, people aren't going to pay to see women fight. So you got to go fight the best person so you can draw a crowd. But with the men, we fall in love with a boxer instead of fights, matches. You fall in love with Tank. So you don't care who Tank's fighting. You just want to see Tank knock somebody out, so you don't care. You know what I mean? So you watch him fight 20 scrubs.
Yeah.
And you're happy because that's where the sport has gotten to. You know, that's all they don't want to see Hagler Hearns. Because somebody's gonna lose that. And somebody gonna end up losing the purse.
And listen,
leverage.
you mentioned earlier, I was a kid, I was young, man. I cried. My father had to rub my head like, yo, stop crying when Mike Tyson lost to Buster Douglas. Because I ain't think Mike Tyson could lose.
Right.
Not to him.
Exactly.
Right.
So, I mean, but somebody's got to lose. And again, I think they misread because they don't do their history. And that's why I said I upgrade myself. I'm a novice, and I'm a heavy novice because I understand more than some of these fighters. It's okay to lose because you win in what you gain by virtue of experience, by what you gain in virtue of character, how you're able to hold your head up high, and the way you come out of those experiences. And Brian mentioned last episode, in the amateurs, you got to fight the number 1 or the number 3 from out of Wisconsin and out of nowhere, because that's just how it landed. And you don't got time to study no footage and get a training camp and get some massages and go out to Florida and do all that. You ain't got time to all of that. It's just on the road, doing the work and getting in the ring. So, you know, I'm
why you
hoping,
gotta stay ready.
yeah. And I'm hoping the men take a page out of the women's boxing. That's why I'm gonna keep tooting that horn. Is there anything in 2023 that you guys absolutely have to see happen in boxing?
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen, but Crawford and Spence.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen, but that's what needs to happen for real. That's what boxing needs right there. I don't care any other fight. That fight needs to happen.
But you know something? One of you guys mentioned earlier, and I got a feeling, and I'm gonna take it and run with it. I'm gonna come back and salute. But you mentioned Earl Spence would vacate once Boot get that strap. And in my mind, though, I think with the way Bud move in his character, he's kind of like, you know, we're gonna do this on my terms, kind of funny, but still confident. But and the way Boots is like, I'm an anybody killer. I think there's a chance of us seeing Boots and Crawford before we see Spence and Crawford. Am I tripping, or does that sound?
I agree.
I agree with you on that one. I agree with you on that one. I'll take that.
Yeah, because there's more money in the Spence and Crawford fight. So there's gonna be a whole lot more bullshit.
Yeah.
The more bigger the purse, the more bullshit you're gonna deal with.
But I just think Spence, on top of, I think he thinks if he gets in there with Boots, it's an L. So he don't want to take the chance. Crawford, on the other hand, because him and Boots are both dogs, it'll be great for boxing. Crawford will take it.
Yeah, I believe that. And you know what? You brothers just gave me something, bro. I'm going to have to give credit to Nerdy Boxing because I'm running that. So for 2023, it's going to be on me. King Amin, I'm beating the drum. We want to see Boots in his Terrence Crawford. He probably going to leave Black Prime, you know what I'm saying? Just do his little solo thing and then be like, I'm ready now. I'm ready now. Right. So hopefully that happens. Gentlemen, is there anything you want to plug before we get up out of here, guys? Maybe give your social media a bit where people can reach out to you, or just, just give your outros a little bit.
So, Nerdy Boxing _gym. That's our gym page. You can follow us, contact us about events, what we got going on, just see highlights of the kids. And right now, you can hear them working out in the back. We're training for regional silver gloves down in Georgia in 2 weeks. And then the national qualifier in Detroit, second week of March. So appreciate the love. Definitely enjoyed talking to you while we were in Texas. And we'll continue to kind of build this thing. And we'd love to be back on whenever you want to have us.
Absolutely. This is a thing of ours. You want to plug anything, Coach?
I just want to say thank you, man. Like you said, you're a novice, man, and I love talking to people like you.
Appreciate it. Man. I love having you guys.
Keep doing what you're doing, brother. And listen out for Nerdy Boxing, because I'm gonna tell you, we got some bad females coming out of nerdy boxing. In a few years, by that time, female boxing should be where we want it to be.
Drillers make killers, and I know y'all down there working, man. Good luck to you. I'm gonna be in touch with you guys. Probably, you know, after Detroit or before Detroit. I'm gonna try to reach out to you guys again, and we're gonna catch up definitely and see if this prediction holds true for this Boots Ennis and Terrence Crawford matchup. All right, gentlemen.
Hey, I take it.
All right, listen, man. Great having you. Salute, man. Great work, fellas.
All right, bro.
All right, brother.
Appreciate you.
Peace.
Peace.